Hi everybody, welcome back for another episode of I Saw It on Pinterest. I believe we are on week 31. Yes, I believe that's right because I did the 30 and a half so I could work on my little journal in the little tin. So today I have picked a tag that is by Sticky Dots. You can find it at stickydotsblogspot.com. And let's see if I can see a date. She did this for a Simon Says Stamp Monday challenge. And she's mostly all Tim Holtz products on this. And Emma Williams is their creator. And it is an absolute beautiful, very detailed tag that I'm sure took a lot of time. And I'm going to do my variation of this as always. And I am not going to do several of the process she did simply because it's a lot of drying time and a lot of, sorry, I had a little string on my screen there, a lot of time in between. So I'm going to take a few shortcuts, but I'm going to get as close to her look as we can. So the first thing we want to do is work on the backgrounds. And what I have done in preparation for that is I have cut two tags, one a little smaller than the other, out of some paper. It's this paper stack. It's Background Papers by mentepapers.com. And I don't have the cover on it, so I can't tell you what the name of it is, but it's a bunch of floral backgrounds. They're really pretty. And each one is they're 6 by 8, so they're a good size to work with. So I just took two coordinating papers out of that, and then I took two of my tags, you know, just blank tags, one this size, and the other one keeps slipping out of my hands here, this size, and just, you know, traced around the paper and cut those out. So that's what we're going to start with. Now, one thing I did not notice when I was doing mine is she did not poke a hole in this one, but we're going to leave it as is. I'm not going to waste the piece of paper, and so we're going to go from there. So the first thing that she did, it looks like, is use some crackle paste on her back tag, and that's the thing that takes forever because crackle paste works the best if you let it dry completely. And so, you know, that would be me pausing the video and waiting for it to dry and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to kind of do a faux representation of that. I hope. We're going to try it, and we're going to hope that it works. And we are going to be working with some wet mediums again today. I have moved my heating tool over here, and I'm just going to dry as we go, and hopefully it's quiet enough that it won't drive you absolutely crazy. So I'm going to apply some wet gesso. Of course it's wet. Some white gesso. just in some spots along the edges, kind of where she has put her texture paste. And like I said, guys, I have no idea if this is going to work, but we're going to try it and see. This is really thin gesso. I didn't realize when I was getting it, it was the thinner. I wish it was the thicker that has more body to it. I don't think that I have. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to run across the room here. Okay, I'm going to mix a little bit of this matte medium in with my gesso because it's thicker, and I think I'm going to get more of a pasty-like kind of thing, which is what I want. I ran out of my thicker gesso, and I got this, not realizing that it wasn't going to be as thick. It's okay, but it's just not, like if you're going to put it through a stencil or something like that, it's just not as thick. Okay, let's try that. And again, this isn't too loud, so hopefully it's not going to bother you too bad. Okay, let's do one more coat. That is giving some texture. It's not a lot. The main thing is I don't want the flowers to show through the back if I can, or show through from the back if I can help it. Okay, let's try that. Tim Holt said, how do I know if something's dry? You touch it. If it feels dry, it's dry. Okay, I think that's good for our purposes. All right, so now here comes the cheat. I'm going to take my crackle stamp and I'm going to take Vintage Photo and I'm going to put my stamp in Vintage Photo and then I'm going to stamp where I just did that. Just so. And hopefully, when I get done, we're going to look like we've gone to some work. Put some crackle paste on here. Okay, I like it. I think that worked just fine. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I have intentionally not put a back on this yet, which I will put a back that you can write on, but I usually don't do that till it's done, so that if Goopy gets back there, I can cover it up, because I have a tendency to be messy. So let's do some magic. Because I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Let's do some wet media stuff here. This is Distress Ink and Tea Dye. I'm going to smoosh it on my little thing here. And then I'm going to squirt it with some water. And then I'm going to drip it on my tag. And I don't have most of the inks in big size because I don't feel like that my use warrants to have the big size. Now I have, oops, sorry about that, guys, all the oxides in the big size because I prefer the oxides, but that's just my personal preference. So I have all the inks in the little mini ones and all the oxides in the big ones. I don't know if this is going to do much color, but we're going to see. Yeah, it's giving us a little bit of color. It's especially where we have the gesso. That little dot. When you're drawing with a heat tool, it's best to hold your paper up so the heat passes through the paper because it dries quicker. And I am on my own worst enemy for not doing that. Okay, now let's take some vintage photo and kind of do some blending around the edges and kind of get some color up onto the tag. And you want to start off the tag and then come in, and then you won't have those little circly kind of lines, little circly things that happen. Okay, and then I'm going to do the edges in walnut stain, just to make them a little darker. Okay, so I think that gave us a nice little aged background. So let's move on to this tag, which is going to sit on top of here. And so what I want to do for it, she did texture paste through a stencil to get her look. And like I said, you know, that's all good. I love to do that too, but you have to wait on it to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some speckled egg, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put speckled egg on the block here. And spray it with some water. And I'm going to move this one out of the way. And I'm also going to do, let me do this one more time. And it helps if you run your finger through it. It kind of gives it a, mixes it more. Wipe that off. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the antique linen. Which that, I know that looks like there's nothing there. But there is. And then I'm going to do some tea dye. If I can get the lid off. There we go. I might even just smush that on there. Okay, let's try that. See what we got. I hope that is not too terribly loud on camera. Okay, so that is dry enough for our next step. And for the next step, I'm going to kind of do the same thing I did on the other one, except this time I'm going to use some speckled egg. And I'm just going to bring it in and kind of enhance the parts that are already kind of this tealy color. Okay, now let's do the same thing with the vintage photo. Again, start off the page or the tag. And then we're going to use the darker walnut stain for the edges. And put some just right there on where that little wrinkle created itself as well. Okay, so there's our top tag. So it's going to set on top of here like that. I think that works pretty well. All right, let me look here and see. All right, so she has a little bit of book page. And then she has a label and a tag. And she used a mini clip, but I don't want that much bulk on mine, so I'm using a mini paper clip. She used one of these, you know, the little bulldog, mini bulldog clip. And it's gonna go under here. And then she has a little bit of book page right here. Book page, book page, book page. We all have book page. This is appropriate. This is a dictionary book page and it says warm. It's been a little warm. Okay. It's a little long. I get a feeling when I started picking out stuff to do mine that her overall tag is bigger than the one I'm doing. But that's okay. Alright, so those pieces are going to go down next. Let's see what else. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, she sewed around her tag. That's what I was going to do. Okay. So I'm going to use my little funky... It's not in here. My little funky... washi tape that looks like stitching here because, you know, I'm not going to sew and go around the big tag. So let's do that first before I glue these down because I'm probably going to have to do some inking once I do this. I'm probably going to have to use glue too, but I'm going to get it all torn off and laid down. And then we'll stick some glue under it. I feel like I'm on one of those episodes of you know, the shortcuts or the hacks. Because we didn't do the crackle, really. We didn't do the sewing. Oh, that's actually sticking pretty good. If it's sticking, I'm not going to mess with it. See that right there isn't right there on that corner. All right, let me trim this. It isn't sticking as where the gesso was. That's where I'm having the issues. That's okay, that's why they make glue. It's sticking in my fingers. Really? Sticking to my fingers better than it's sticking to the paper. Okay. Sorry if I have that pulled out of screen, but I had to get it close enough that I could see to get it cut well. All right, so let's take finished photo and kind of erase the white on the tape. See if we can't make it blend in a little better. And then I might take just a little bit I've about rubbed my crackle off down here. I need to put some more. Okay, there it is. See, I should have used the that's the wrong one. Goofy. Ink. Let me get my ink. Do I not have ink over here? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry about that. I'm re-stamping with archival ink, which is permanent vintage photo. In the places where we lost our crackle. There we go. All right. I'm trying that real quick. Good enough. Now, this is going to go here. This is going to go here. This is going to go here. So I'm going to kind of hold that in place. Put some glue on it. Then do the same on the other side. And then we'll do the same for the tag. Okay, now to fix the top of this tag, we want to do that before we attach it. So I have a piece of ticking here, and I'm going to wrap it around the top and the side. And I'm using the reverse side so that the red is not so prominent. And I'm going to just take my tiny attacher and staple it, because we're going to put that enamel number over top of it so it won't show anyway. And that way it just kind of holds it in place until we get the next step done. Okay, and then I have the exact same enamel number that she used. I'm going to put that on there. And I'm going to use my little pokey tool, poke a hole for the brads. Trying to be careful on this one because my finger's back there. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to go as quickly as I can on this, and if it seems like that it's too long by the time we're done, I'll fast forward through some of the drawing and the boring parts to make it not so long. Did I not get all the way through that one? Obviously not. Let's try again. Did that time. Okay. So that is going to go here. Like so. I don't think there's anything else. She has stitched around that one too, but she did it in white. I don't think I'm gonna stitch or faux stitch around it. Okay, so let's glue this down, and I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac 3-in-1 just so I can be sure everything, the metal, the fabric, everything is getting dried down or glued down, and it's gonna be nice and flat when we're done. I think I'm gonna move this. We're done with the wet stuff, and that crinkling's driving me nuts. Okay. Moving on. All right. The little girl with the dog, I did not have. And the mushrooms that she's using, I also did not have. So I have some substitutes for those. Get my glue seepage here. Although it's probably going to be covered up. It still drives me crazy. Okay. Mushrooms. I'm going to use this little pastry cream top. I do not have this little flower right here, but I do have these, so we're going to use one of these. I've got my dyed seam binding for the bow. I've got my sentiment And I've got some little scrap crochet pieces, and I've got some cheesecloth. And she's got hearts. I don't know if you can see that. See these hearts? I'm not a heart person, so I'm not doing those. So I'm going to age this up around the edge a little bit. Take her white edge off. And also I'm going to do around this a little bit. And this one. And we're ready to start assembling, I think. All right, so the first thing we want to do is actually this bow. So she is just kind of made a bow. Make loops. See if I can do this and hold it all together at the same time. Whoops, apparently not. It's just messy, kind of messy little loops. And then I think I'm just going to staple them. To kind of hold it all together, I hope. Until I can get it glued down. That way I can kind of shape them how I want them. This would not be how I would make a bow, by the way. But for this, it's going to be fine. Okay. And leave a little tail there. Okay, and then she's got this. But it actually needs to be up a little. Because this sits here. Maybe we should glue this together first. Okay, right beside that P and right under that line. Okay, and then she's got the mushrooms sitting on top of that, and I'm actually going to do both. I'm going to set these on top, and then I'm going to put the others underneath because they're a washi. I'll put a little clamp on that for a minute. So these are going to sit here like that, and then the others are going to sit behind here. Based on where her arm is going to be. I'm going to have to move mine down, which I'm okay with that. But I got to have it up a little bit to fit the, but she can't go any higher than about right there. Ooh, didn't mean to make that dark. Let's do a little water there and make that kind of disappear a little bit. There we go. All right. So then this. My iPad went to sleep. Okay. And then this. So I'm going to trim this off and then place this right down here in this corner. Which way looks better? Probably about like that. Okay, so let's get this glued down. Get this glued down. Another clamp on this side, and then while that's drying, I'm gonna back her with some thicker cardboard so that she'll stand up off the paper too. And I think rather than using you know, the little three-dimensional dots. I'm just going to use some cardboard, if I can find some close by. That is, look at my tiny scrap box. Nope, not in that one. Oh, here's some. We watched the movie last night about the, it's on Amazon Prime. It was about the little boy soccer team in Taiwan that was stuck in the mine for all that time, and how they went through rescuing them, you know, the process of coming up with the idea of how to rescue them. It was really, really a good movie. It's amazing that they lived. I still got her a little higher than I meant to. I'll just move her down a little. Let her feet be kind of under that. Okay, then I don't really know that I did that bow so correctly there. I think the idea was to have it more looking like the center was near that. Cleaning off on my little glue strings that get strung out and make little shiny spots. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not real happy with that flower thing, but that's okay. Oh, no, it's not it. I gotta put my little, it's like something's missing. It's this stuff. Gotta stick some of this stuff around here. That's what we're missing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the glue down, and then I'm going to take my little pokey tool and kind of poke it in behind stuff. Then we'll be done. All right. Actually, I'm going to put this one down here because I feel like that's where it needs it. Okay. Now we're done. Let's move all my junk so we can get a good view of it without all the junk in the way. All right. So there it is, completed. And I think it came out pretty well. Got some glue right there I need to clean up. There we go. So this is our inspiration here. And here's mine. So I think it turned out pretty cute. I hope you guys like that. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so you can watch what's coming up next. And until the next episode, which will be Thursday. No, this is Thursday. This is Thursday's video. So it will be Saturday. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And we'll see you on Saturday. Bye.